Good morning, everyone, and welcome to CanHammer and this ITC Practice Battle Report. This is Francois, and joining me today, I have a very special guest. Hanjo is coming all the way from Germany to play here today. Hanjo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Hanjo, as you said. I am in the competitive scene for about a year now, as you said, from Germany. So work just brings me over to Canada, and I felt I'll just pack my army up and get a couple of reps in. So yeah, that's about it. Two friends and I, we started a YouTube channel beginning of the year. So that's Kings of the Hill on YouTube. We do mostly content in German, but we're also starting to film battle reports and things in English. So do check us out, leave a comment or a like if you like what we're doing.
Yeah, go practice your German on there. I have a piece of paper somewhere that says I'm proficient in German. It's a lie. I'm not.
So it's going to be a German battle report, I think, huh?
Okay. Hanjo brought a competitive Eldar soup list to play today. Tell us about your army, Hanjo.
Absolutely. So I have three detachments.
Yep.
Starting off with a battalion here of Blackheart.
Right.
Drukhari. So this is plain and simple. It's Drazar. I think he's pretty much a killer with the new rules. This one I need to proxy because 2 days ago in Cambridge I left my Archon, but this is an Archon with a husk blade.
Yes, this is my model. You've seen it before in another Batrep, but we know that it's an Archon.
Exactly. So and then there's three just plain vanilla Cabalites for 30 points with splinter.
Just there to vect my stratagems.
Exactly, and do some damage to your Guardians.
Yeah.
So and then
any blasters in there, or are they naked?
No, very naked.
As
so
they come,
30
very
points,
good.
and then this one goes with a splinter rifle and a splinter cannon, so 10 shots rather than 12.
Very
so
good.
As cheap as it can be.
Yeah.
Continuing with a Custom Craft Worlds Spearhead detachment
Yep.
with a Spirit Seer, with 3 Fire Prisms and 3 Night Spinners. They're Custom Craft Worlds, so they have masterful shots to reroll a hit and a wound roll, and they ignore cover.
That's pretty classic. Yep.
And to finish it off, it's a battalion, again, Custom Craft Worlds with a Farseer, a Warlock Skyrunner, he's my Warlord, then 20 Guardians with 2 weapon platforms, just to give me a couple of extra wounds and a 3-up armor save, Storm Guardians, the cheapest unit choice, and then 5 Rangers.
Okay.
And then pretty much the core of that detachment, 9 Shining Spears, with the Exarch, with a Skilled Rider, for a 3-up invulnerable.
Yeah, that's, again, all classic choices for a reason. This is a very competitive army, beautiful army, nice paint job. We are going to cut and go to my army next, but I'm suddenly a little worried that my army might not cut it for this. This is a very, very strong force. All right, coming up, we'll check out my Guard army. All right, here we go. So for my Guard today, I have a battalion of Tempestus Scion. I'm using the new Psychic Awakening rules to give them the Scion Regimental trait, which increases their range by 6 inches on their rapid fire weapon. This is, I think, really clutch because it means that the hotshot lasguns will be able to double tap on the drop when they come in. One squad is naked with hotshot lasguns. One squad has 4 hotshot volley guns. Honestly, they're probably not that good, but I had the models. I wanted to test them, so they're in the list. And one squad with 4 plasma guns. So 30 Scions, 2 Tempestor Primes. One of them has a command rod, so I can order all 3 squads. The other one has a plasma pistol, and apologies, I did not pay for the Power Fist. We'll say his Power Fist is broken for today. Next up, we have a Catachan battalion. This is the beginning of a new army that I'm painting, a bit of a hobby project for me. I'm building an entire Talarn army. Did I say Catachan? Talarn. An entire Talarn army. So we have 3 tank commanders, 3 armored sentinels with las cannons and hunter-killer missiles, and 3 squads of Talarn infantry in chimeras. So the idea behind this army is it's going to be a fully mechanized Desert Raiders force. Not the most competitive way to play Talarn, but still fairly strong, and Talarn tank commanders I think are the best tank commanders just because of the shenanigans they can do. And finally, we have another battalion. This time will be a custom guard regiment. I'm going to give it the custom regiment trait for rerolling number of shots on the artillery, and the repair wounds, jury-rigged repairs or something it's called. Repair wounds, so if there's some splash damage on the artillery pieces, they can repair themselves. 2 company commanders. I did pay for the power sword and bolt pistol on this one. This one is naked as it comes. 3 squads of infantry, again, naked. And this guy will be I know it's technically a Forge World Cadian company commander, but because he's on the phone calling in an artillery strike, I'm going to play him as a Master of Ordnance today. Give these guys reroll 1s on targets further away than 36 inches. And also he has a neat new strat now in the Psychic Awakening book where his artillery barrage might actually do something. Now that we've done that, what we're going to do is make this company commander the Warlord. Actually, this one, he looks cooler. The Warlord. But we're not going to give him a Warlord trait. What we're going to do is give this guy a Warlord trait for the -1 damage Tank Ace trait. It's not a Warlord trait, it's the new Tank Aces. So he's going to be -1 damage incoming to a minimum of 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make his battalion the Emperor's Fist Tank Company. And we're going to give him the Hammer of Sunderance for his battle cannon. So damage 3 battle cannon, and he's -1 damage coming in. Next, we're going to make this battalion with the artillery an Emperor's Wrath Artillery Company. That allows me to double tap one of my artillery pieces at need. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay a CP to give a Support Ace trait to this Basilisk. We'll mark it with a dice or something so we don't get confused. And this Basilisk will have the full payload trait, which basically means that you don't roll a d3 for damage, it's always 3. Both these new Tank Ace traits I think are pretty strong, so we're going to put them to the test today. There's also some neat stratagems in the Psychic Awakening book, so my goal for this battle report is to showcase the new stuff that the Astra Militarum has to offer. Should be a fun one. We'll be back with the mission and the deployment very soon. Okay, so we are now deployed on this abandoned Mechanicus facility. I don't know what the tricksy Eldar are doing here, but the Imperial Guard will keep them from achieving their devious plans. The terrain, by the way, I should mention, was not painted by me. This is terrain that I commissioned from Brent at Full Sail Painting Studio, and he did a fantastic job with it. So the mission we're playing today is Scenario 4 of the new ITC. What is yours is mine. Player-placed objectives. 5 objectives. The bonus is holding both of the ones you placed. So I placed one here and here, and Hanjo placed one back there behind those crates, and one here in my deployment zone. I want to roll off to go first, so I am the attacker. He is the defender. If I'm honest, I'm really happy about that because there's a lot of Alpha Strike in this army. Fire Prisms, Night Spinners, Shining Spear that have all the mobility in the world. Going first is probably my way of winning this mission. So for secondaries, I picked Big Game Hunter because those tanks are going to need to die, and there's 6 of them, so I should be able to kill 4. Then I picked Recon and Behind Enemy Lines, and my thinking for doing that is that guard armies actually have a lot of mobility now, as evidenced by a game I played against Jean last night that will also be up on the channel if it's not already. So I should be able to max those by just throwing guardsmen forward, especially since a lot of them are still in Deep Strike. So the Scions obviously can natively Deep Strike, so here we go. Then I also paid 3 CP to outflank a Talarn tank commander with a Demolisher cannon and 2 infantry squads. The third one is in this Chimera here. So between the outflanking, the deep striking, the moving of guardsmen, I should have no trouble maxing out my board control secondaries, especially going first. Now going second, Hanjo deployed, tried to hide as much of his tanks as he could. Now there's actually a fair bit of line of sight blocking on this table, but with 6 tanks you can't hide them all. And I also have basilisks shooting without line of sight. So the goal for me is going to be to, well, kill a tank or 2 and start moving up the table. And we'll see if I can get lucky. So we will be back after Astra Militarum movement phase turn 1. But actually, before we do, I haven't mentioned Hanjo's secondaries. He picked Big Game, obviously. Reaper, because lots of guardsmen that are going to need to die. And a Recon as well, which with his mobility, he should be able to achieve no problem. Okay, back after Astra Militarum movement phase. Okay, movement phase over. I just moved these guardsmen up and advanced. What they're going to do next is move into the table quarter to get me 2 units into this table quarter. Same thing here, which will allow me to get 2 points of recon top of turn 1. I don't think you should be able to do that. I think it's silly. But since you are able to do that, I will do it. Now I moved the Chimeras forward. Yes, I know they're basically just rat targets to the Shining Spears, but whatever. I have a plan for the Shining Spears. I'm going to throw all my non-line of sight shooting at them and hope they die. Next, I moved this tank commander just under half, so he can still double tap his battle cannon. He does not see this fire prism, unfortunately, but he does see this Night Spinner, so that's going to be his target. This tank also moved back just a bit to also get a bead on this Night Spinner right there from the back of the turret. These moved forward, the Armored Sentinels with Hunter Killers, and they do just have a line of sight on the corner fire prism. So we're going to go into the shooting phase, and what I'm going to do is order my guys forward to get my board control secondaries, and I'm going to try to kill, if I could kill 2 tanks and a couple of Shining Spears, that would be a fantastic turn. I think average dice I probably do, but we'll find out. So, we'll do the shooting phase for the Astra Militarum, and we'll be back with the results shortly. Okay, we're coming back partway through the shooting phase because I did want to show you some of the stratagems I'm using. So first, obviously, the Guardsmen and Company Commanders moved up to get me my 2 points for recon. But specifically what I wanted to show is this unit of Armored Sentinel. I paid a CP to use the Strike First, Strike Hard stratagem from the new Psychic Awakening. And so that's going to make them hit on 2s this turn. Because it's +2 to hit, and because they're Talarn, they don't have a penalty for moving and shooting heavy weapons on vehicles. So 3 Hunter Killer missiles, 3 las cannons are going to go into this fire prism over there. After that, later in the shooting phase, I won't film that roll, but I also paid the CP to make this guy shoot the max number of shots. So basically, he's going to shoot 12 shots for 2 CP with his battle cannon, and I spend the 1 CP for the Master of Ordnance for his bombardment to be a full 6 shots. So basically, I'm spending all the CP now, blowing my load, trying to kill as much as I can before the retaliation comes. For the Sentinels though, because Sentinels are cool and awesome, I will roll on camera. So they are shooting on this fire prism. So hitting on 2s. Last cannons first. So that's 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is 2 wounds, a 5 and a 4.
Is it -3?
It's -3.
-3 and I'm in cover?
Yes sir, so you get 5s. 1 pass, 1 fail, so d6 damage. It's 5. I will take that. Now we do the same thing with the Hunter Killer missiles. 2 hits. 3's to wound. 2 wounds. Now Hunter Killer missiles I think are -2. So roll it and we'll check if it makes a difference, but I'm pretty sure it's -2. Pass 1, fail 1.
Doesn't make a difference.
So 6 up, 6 damage, d6 damage. It is a CanHammer 6. Wow.
Oh my gosh,
He's
down to 1.
Down to 1. He is not dead. That's key. Because if I'd killed him in one go, that would have freed up other shooting. So that's actually not a bad thing there. Okay, we will finish the shooting phase and come back to you with the results. Okay, this turn went pretty well. I mean, actually, pretty much as I expected it to go. With this much alpha, things are going to die, right? So I needed to kill at least 2 tanks, and that's what I did. I killed 2.5, actually. So I killed 1 fire prism that was over there. The Sentinels, as you saw, left them on 1 wound, but I used the Orbital Bombardment Barrage from the Master of Ordnance for 1 CP to just guarantee the kill. Then I killed the Night Spinner that was over there, between fire from both tank commanders. And I tried killing Shining Spears with the Wyvern, but Hanjo rightly lightning fasted them, and I only did a single wound.
But yeah, the good thing is you got me down to 5.
But I got you down to 5 CP.
The maximum number of shots.
Right, this was actually the smart thing to do. So I was going to spend 2 CP to get max shot on this tank commander, and Hanjo vected that, which he should have, because that's a really nasty strat when all of a sudden 12 shots are coming at you from the battle cannon and 6 from the sponsons, right? So that was vected. And I also got this fire prism down to 4 hit points. So he is in his middle bracket now. This was a strong first turn. I scored 2 points for recon because I have 2 units in every table quarter. I scored nothing for behind enemy line yet, but I should be able to next turn. And I also scored 2 big game. So I'm off to a decent start, but we will come back after Eldar, movement phase, turn 1, and update you on the results. Okay, so Hanjo is just finishing up his movement phase. He has, unsurprisingly, decided to go take as much board control as he can, which is the right move, totally. The Shining Spears have moved up mid-board and are getting ready to tag things and make them not shoot, which is what they're good at. So now we're going to go straight into the Psychic phase because he wants to move them again. What's the name of that power again?
Quicken.
Quicken.
So I'm spending 1 CP.
1 CP.
For Seer Council, so my
Right, the plus
Farseer
one.
and my Warlord
Plus one to
Skyrider gets
cast.
+1 to
So
cast.
let's. What are we casting first?
We're casting first Fortune from the Farseer.
Fortune.
Which comes on a
11.
12,
It
so
becomes a 12. It goes off.
goes off, and they have a 5-up invul.
Okay.
Feel no pain.
Make sure you remember that, because I will forget.
That's why I put the dice down.
Okay.
The next one is...
So the casters, by the way, guys, are behind here.
Here.
And they don't need line of sight to do their thing. They just need to be within 18. So what's the next power?
Just to be clear, you
Yep.
can't move up here, right?
No,
so
I cannot.
if I tag you here, you're tagged.
Yeah, I'll be stuck.
Okay.
Yep.
I will doom this Chimera.
Doom!
6 and
6 and a 2. Yeah, my
8,
table is
9.
warped a little, so we're
So
rolling in
9.
the middle. So we are doomed with this Chimera. Very nice.
it's doomed.
Yep.
So the Farseer's done.
Farseer's done.
The,
We're going to quicken the bikes now.
no, we're
Nope.
protecting the bikes first.
Protecting the bikes. On
Which
8,
goes off.
that goes off. So they are protected.
So they have...
Fully buffed.
And
Now
on
I'm starting to
the-
think I should have thrown everything at those bikes. And on a 7, that goes off as well.
That goes off.
So now we're going to move them again and come back to you after the shooting phase. Okay, we are back after a pretty brutal shooting phase. This tank commander is dead. I'm going to remove him now. The link fire from even 2 fire prisms will do that. Like, I was expecting him to die. There was no way he was not gonna. The rest of the shooting I'm okay with. I mean, he did kill a Chimera there, so we're now on kill the same. But the guardsmen are alive for now. There is, however, a charge phase coming up, which we're going to do on camera. So
I already have kill more because I killed the character.
oh, you killed. Well, yes, that's right. That's
so
right. You
I
killed the
have
character.
3 kills and you have 2.
3 kills. And so where are we charging first? So obviously this was going to happen. Like, I knew that. When you're playing guard and you have Shining Spears, you're going to get wrapped and trapped and touched. There's no way around it. In hindsight, maybe putting all my no line of sight shooting into them, but honestly, it would not have killed them. They're just too well protected with those invulns. So I'm just going to have to wear that and keep playing the mission and see what happens. So, first charge.
I'm charging the Shining Spears into...
Okay, you're trying to Shining Spears into the Sentinels. So 3 Sentinels overwatching on 6s. Nope, nothing. 7.
7.
So we're going to move them and come back to you after the combat phase. As expected, a brutal counterpunch from the Eldari forces. We have tanks that are being bad touched everywhere. This Chimera is bad touched. Those guys are pinned. There's no way to avoid getting pinned against double moving Shining Spears, so no point in even trying. This guy is tri-pointed by 2 bikes and terrain. Bad touched, but at least not wrapped, so they'll be able to fall back. Now it's there's a massive lead in points for the Eldari. You got 2 big game, 1 recon, and 5 point on the primaries because he killed, he held, he killed more, he held more, and he got the bonus. With these new ITC missions, getting the bonus is pretty easy, especially when you have Shining Spears moving, 42 inches a turn or something silly like that?
Only 36.
Okay, plus a 7-inch charge, so let's call it 43 inches.
Yeah.
I think this game is still very much in the balance because I have a brutal counter punch coming down from reserve. This is also why I wanted to have so much thing in reserves, because I knew this was going to happen. So now I've got a tank commander and 5 squads of infantry coming down, including some Scions. All I have to do is carefully measure where they're going to go and see exactly what I can finagle movement-wise to get some points. So right now we have a 8-6 lead for the Drukhari. Although you guys started working on Reaper, so it might be 9-6, something like that. We'll add up Reaper at the end. I'm going to carefully measure my 9 inches, bring in my strike force, and we'll see what happens. Coming right back. Okay, my movement phase is over. I ended up not deploying everything. I did drop this tank commander here, along with his Talarn buddies. I kept this Chimera in combat to make sure this guy can't just fly away and tag something. These guys moved up to start chewing up some Guardians. These guys are stuck, obviously. We fell back here. We fell back there. We stayed in position here to get me my recon points again. I dropped the Plasma Scions with their Tempestor, with the Plasma Pistol. Everything's in range of this Night Spinner. So we're going to see what kind of damage we can do to this Night Spinner with the double tapping plasma. Over there, the tank commander will hopefully take care of the fire prism. We shall see. I still have 2 basilisks that can shoot. It's not as much as I would like to have available to shoot, but we're gonna see what we can make happen. So we will come back at the end of the shooting phase. We'll see how much damage I managed to do.
Hold on.
Okay, yes.
So here I'm...
Yeah, of course, yeah. I was expecting that one. We are going to... I think it was a pretty big turn from the Astra Militarum. I spent all the CP in the shooting phase. I double tapped this Basilisk that does a flat 3 damage. I paid the strat to make sure that this guy could still double tap his battle cannon despite having moved by arriving from Deep Strike. Then I paid the CP to make him do the 12 shots. He killed a tank there. I also killed the wounded Night Spinner and Fire Prism there. So I've maxed my big game now. There's only 1 Fire Prism left, Night Spinner left for shooting units. There are still these guys. They're a problem. They're a big problem. But, you know what? I'm going to have to wear these guys being in my line. Now in the charge phase, I charge these guys into that, because if they don't die, and they shouldn't on average dice, because he only has 2 attacks, so they won't, they are now in his deployment zone, so that's going to give me a bind point. These guys drop down, they helped kill the tank there. They're reasonably safe, because what I did is, I charged the Guardsman and the Chimera into these Guardians, so now they're not going to shoot me next turn. So actually, next turn, there's not that much shooting coming my way. I mean, we have combat over there, so if he kills the Chimera, then he's going to be free to move in his turn. Nothing I can do about that, but you know, it's still a 7-wound Chimera. It takes a while to chew through. There's that Night Spinner that's going to fire, obviously, but still, I'm not too worried about that. These guys, it comes down to, can these guys kill the Sentinels? If they can't, then he'd have to pay CP to charge again in his turn, which I would be fine with because he's getting pretty low on CP. So it's going okay. I did keep a couple units of Scions in reserve to wait for a better opening, to be honest. So next turn they'll have to come down, and we'll see what we can do. We are going to come back after. I think we're probably at this point going to do the full turn, unless something interesting happens in the meantime, in which case we will update you. But we will come back with an update on what the Eldari managed to do in their turn 2 coming up. Okay, so we're coming back to you, bottom of turn 2. The Eldari are just finishing up their movement phase. It was a good turn for the guard, but now there's going to be another counterpunch. I'm going to get bad touched again a bunch of places, which is not fun, but it is what it is. These Tempestus guys are probably going to disappear, but we'll see. Here, this Night Spinner is flying into my tank commander, looking to bad touch it. That's the play. It's a good play. Here, that's probably going to die. These guys, they have a bit of a charge to go around here, but they probably can get into this Basilisk and touch it as well. So really the only thing I'll have shooting next turn is probably going to be this Wyvern and this Basilisk here. It's not great. It's not great, but, you know, he's getting the bonus again. He's going to get max his secondaries pretty soon for the ground control ones. We will see what happens, but right now it's still a very tight game. We will do the psychic phase and the shooting phase and the combat phase as well, and we'll just give you an end-of-turn summary once all of that is done and update you with the points. Right now the game is very much anyone's to win or lose, I think. Pretty even. It's an intense game, but very, very interesting one. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, so we are just catching up halfway through the Eldar turn, bottom of 3 now, no, 2 now we still are. Some charges happening. This has been bad touched. This tank, so he charged them. Right now he's not touching the tank, but he'll be able to just like consolidate into it. So this will be bad touched as well. Here, the Sentinels are wrapped again, and with the Pylon, he's going to be able to get into this tank as well. So this, pretty much everything will be shut down, shooting-wise, which was to be expected. We will do the combat and come back to update you partway through the Astra Militarum turn, because right now there's not all that much happening, so probably we'll just touch back after I do my movement phase. Okay, time for a last hurrah, I think, of the Astra Militarum. Depending on how this turn goes, the game is going to be still in play or maybe lost. So this Basilisk had to fall back. We moved these guys to be within double tap range of these 4 guys. The tank fell back, had to. This guy stayed stationary. The Wyvern stayed stationary. I had to move the Basilisk to be able to fit the Tank Commander to keep following him back. Because if these guys are stuck in combat, he won't be able to charge the Tank Commander again. And at this point, the Tank Commander will be able to shoot or Overwatch this. He's probably going to charge this in. But I could kill it on Overwatch, right? You never know. So the Tank Commander is here now. I did drop my Scions here. And the goal with the Scions is to clear as much of this as I can. Maybe even get a cheeky charge on the characters if I roll high enough. So that's going to be the goal of this turn. What we're going to do is we're going to play out the turn, and then we will come back with an update. Okay, absolutely huge turn for me just now. Everything I needed to go right went right. Here I killed the Cabalites that were pinning my Basilisk, so he's going to need to charge it again. He's going to need to charge the tank again, so I'm going to get to Overwatch here. I didn't move here, but crucially, I killed all the Guardians that were there, all the Storm Guardians that were there, then I shot the Spirit Seer, and I finished the Farseer in combat. So I've killed 5 units this turn?
5 units.
5 units this turn. So that is huge. That means I'm probably going to get kill more, and now I also hold a whole lot of objectives. So this might be the turn that turns the game for me, but Hanjo is very much still in it. The spears are intact. One has taken 1 wound at the very beginning of the game, and that is it. So we will do his turn and come back with an update. Okay, interesting development here in the Aeldari turn. So this tank is now pinned, cannot fall back. I think maybe I could have positioned him a bit better. That might be on me. But either way, he is stuck there. This Basilisk is pinned by this guy in the corner. We weren't sure if one guy could pin a Basilisk or if I could like do this and that. We couldn't decide. It's not going to change anything. A Basilisk getting on 6. It's no impact. So we're going to let it there. If you definitely have an opinion, let us know in the comments. Honestly, I'm not sure which way it should go, but I don't care. Basilisk getting on 6s, not going to do much. He did kill the Guardsman off this objective, so now I don't own it anymore. The Spears killed 1 Sentinel, so now this one will be able to fall back. That's pretty clutch, because now this stuff will be able to shoot at the Spears. And they're no longer buffed, so I could put a dent. Now over here, we did a combat. I did a wound on the Venom. What I'm going to do in my movement phase is fall these guys back, order them to get back in the fight, and shoot. So hopefully I can kill this, maybe this, or maybe I go there. I haven't decided yet. I need to kill, if I could kill 2 units this turn, it'd be pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, that's how we're going to do it. We will be right back at the end of Astra Militarum turn, this is only turn 4, right? Turn 4. Okay, we are back at the end of another big turn from the Astra Militarum. So I killed this Venom. He was on 1 wound left after the shooting, so I charged him with my Tempestor Prime with no close combat weapon, and he killed it. I did enough damage to the Spears after falling back my Sentinel that 3 were left. They ran away to morale. In the middle, I lost a Chimera, giving up the last big game Hunter point here. This combat is still going on. This combat is still going on. At this point, it's still very tight, but now I'm finally turning it around, I think. So we'll see what happens. We'll come back to you after Aeldari turn 4. Okay, the Eldari need a big turn here. Obviously, this guy is still pinned, so we jumped out the Cabalites to go here. He's just going to charge in. I won't be able to fall back. The Night Spinner is going there. He'll be able to shoot. This guy is still stuck in combat. We have a Venom here holding this objective. We have the Scouts holding this objective, so he will hold more. He's already killed 1 in my turn, the Chimera that was in combat, so he needs to kill 1 more to kill the same, 2 to kill more. He is on about a 4-point lead at this point, so the game is still very much anybody's to win. And it's a really fun game so far. Thanks,
absolutely.
Man. It's absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
Most intense game I've played in a long time. This table quarter is mine now because my Scions are holding it pretty good.
Yeah.
This table quarter is mine because I killed the Spears. But over there, there's still important stuff going on. So we will update you at the end of Aeldari turn 4. All right, we're interrupting the turn here for a second because something absolutely hilarious happened. So Drazar charged the Sentinel, who proceeded to roll a 6 on his last cannon to hit, proceeded to wound, proceeded to roll another 6 for 6 damage on Drazar, who made 1 feel no pain and is now alive on a single wound.
That's just hilarious.
Now he's going to kill the Sentinel, though. That's on 2 wounds, but still, that was hilarious.
So I'm going to hit with 6 attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm going
to
go in.
Yeah, you just want to touch the Wyvern. I get you.
Sorry. On 4s. So he has a toughness...
toughness 6, yeah.
So on 4s, minus 2.
So I need 2 5-ups here to live. I die.
Okay. So
Okay, another pretty good turn. I got a clutch charge over there to wrap these scouts and take the objective, which is more important. I killed Drazar with the tank commander. Over here, I killed a unit of Cavalite, so that's 2 kills. This combat is still going on. This combat finished last turn, so this guy is free. He's going to probably go jump on the objective. Right now, this is kind of stuck. There's 1 Night Spinner on half wounds there. There's a half wounded, whatever that transport is called, there. There's the Archon there. It's my Warlock model we're proxying. These guys are stuck over there. And there's a 1 wound Warlock on bike over here. So not much on the table. At this point, I don't think mathematically I can actually catch up though, but it's going to be very close. So we're going to play out the rest of the game, and we're just going to update you with end of game tots, because it's just kind of admin at this point. It's going to be a really, really close game, guys. Alright guys, the game is over, and what a game it was. I don't know about you, but that's one of the best games of Warhammer I have played in a long time.
It's
that
been
was
quite intense.
Absolutely fantastic. Good game, my friend.
Thank you so much.
This was intense. So guys, final score, 30-29. Victory by 1 point for the Aeldari forces. That was intense, because turn 2, honestly, when the spears were in my lines and touching everything, I thought this game is done. There's nothing I can do. I'm just going to play for fun. Then the Scions came down and actually did the business. I had a couple big turns. I clawed it back almost to a victory. This was pretty crazy. So, Hanjo, for you, what are your thoughts on this game?
It was indeed super intense, one of the best games, very tactical. We were punching each other, so you were up turn 1, I was up turn 2, then you had 2 very good turns, and I was on the uphill battle.
But you played your positioning game really well.
Yeah, so what I did in the end was, so I saw, I'm not going to outkill you.
Focused on this side of the board.
I'm focusing on this one, because you have your 2 markers here, and I've outscored, so my goal was, you cannot reach me with what I did in the first 3 turns.
And if I had gotten even 1 bonus, I tie.
So it was clutch for me to feed you with stuff and just put the Venoms in.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of my MVP, it's an unusual one. I've probably never nominated it, well, not in a long time, but I would say the Venoms, just for what they did in tagging things and moving and shooting infantry. So next to all the other regular things, I think this game was really, really clutch.
Yeah, I think in this kind of matchup, and the way that your army plays, and the new ITC secondaries, and the way the missions are designed with bonuses, the mobility that Venoms give you is huge. Absolutely huge. So for me, I think actually, when the first squad came down and just blew up a tank and died, I was like, oh, Scions, they do what Scions do, nothing. But then the other 2 squads came down, and they cleared house. They killed everything that was back there. This squad came up to here, grabbed that objective, killed the Rangers. That's going to be my MVP. Not the tank commanders, the Scions.
Yeah.
So fantastic game, really.
Yeah, and I think also a couple of things snowballed, because you had a very good first turn, taking out 2.5 tanks.
Right.
And then mid-game I was losing the firepower, so I couldn't do anything against your backline.
Right.
And as soon as I was running out of CP to recharge the spears,
right,
they were just dying within a turn.
And then you also, once I killed your psychic support, the spears were no longer buffed up.
Yeah.
They became much easier to kill.
It's a bit of a snowball effect, and I think it goes down to I've lost probably too much in round 1 to not then play with a lot of breadth and depth in the mid.
Well, you played the mission, you played well, the movement game worked for you. This is a good army you got. And I'm liking mine. I mean, I would want more bodies, more guardsmen. Yeah, the Chimeras are just a trap. I like Chimeras because they look cool, and I like the idea of Chimeras, but I think I would remove the Chimeras, throw in another 40 or 50 guardsmen, probably, and that gives me more layers of protection, right?
Yeah, it would have been a completely different game with 50 more bodies, just screening your...
Because then what I would have done is I would have clumped my tanks and just like basically clump my tanks and do like 6 layers of guardsmen so you can't get to them.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, fun game. Really, really cool. Thanks again for coming all this way to play this fun game of Warhammer. And we will talk to you guys very soon. Thanks.
Thank you.